the description of him, and he has two swords in his hand, plates, bladed plate. He's not afraid to fabricate. They fabricated that, look. That's a beautiful book of Kells. It was made by angels. Angels have wings. So in order to find the angels that made this on the island of Iona, now remember, talking about empires that spanned the face of the earth, Catarim wasn't confined by any geographical position because he was a swan king. The Lord used to send it. So you can see treading the winepress. So when you look at the Catarim, he's called the Assyrian, because this is how you know it's him who's read in the parallel. The Lord said, the Assyrian, him I will send against any hypocrite nation. And then he go back to Malachi. He says, I will send, the same words, I will send Elijah the prophet. So we, the Irish, have nearly identical DNA to the people from Iran, which is the place where Catarim was sent in the middle of a drought. Now, what did a drought mean in them days? Did it mean a drought on the vapor? Because you can trace most deserts to pyramids. The Holy Grail, or the Fountain of Youth, I believe, is something that they call the Abzu. The Abzu is the oldest Gujarat pyramid, and it's surrounded by a desert, but it used to be called the Temple of Sweet Water, but it was by Enki, whoever he is. So it's similar to the story of Cain slewing his brother Abel with a rock. He built something, and then we were cursed with a curse, and we died as an infant at 100 years. So all of the human race is cursed. Every single one of us is cursed with a curse. And we die as an infant at 100 years. These beautiful ladies will wrinkle up and they'll die 100 years. And all we have to do, God bless Deutschland, all we have to do is pull down the idols. It's not much. We have all these technologies and now we can blow a city up in a week. We, through our indifference to the suffering of fellow human beings, refuse to give up our idols. Our idols in the form of taking a tool upon a stone. Now the Lord says you shall not lift a tool upon a stone. If you lift a tool upon a stone, you have polluted it. Neither shall you go up to it by steps lest they see your nakedness. So they were wearing kilts. So if you look at King Callahan, when he sent down to Samaria, he has these bunch of grapes in his hands, treading the winepress with a stout leg. That's what he actually looked like. But what you're seeing in the Red Devil is probably him when he was thousands of years old. He may have looked like that, but I think it's more of a racial slur because of what was after going on. The Lord handed us over to our enemies. We were given to our enemies. Now we're in the last days. The generation of Enoch is due to turn up. The Lord will come down onto the earth personally and inhabit and visit and do what he has to do to get rid of the heathen and the idolatry which has wrought generation after generation after generation of disease, sickness, mental health, spiritual attachments, spirit worship, and all of these nasty things which are taking us all out of the game. So soon at one point the resurrection happens and all of the dead get back up. They get their vapor back basically. Everyone gets their vapor back. But they're judged on their actions and their belief system that was passed on to them by their parents. That's why the Lord imputes the iniquity of the father unto the third and the fourth generation. Or there's actually the iniquity of the mother and the sin of the father in the Old Testament. So you have to be careful with a lot of the New Testament because the Lord said, do not cast your pearls before swine. So we actually became swine when we heathen swine, when the Lord handed us over to our enemies. So the Jesuits have us basically now, the right hand. So that's why they shout Ezekiel. Ezekiel is how you pronounce Ezekiel, the book in the Bible. It's actually Ezekiel, what the Nazis were saying with the right hand. Ezekiel. So you're looking at the Holy Grail and it's all linked to Cashel. It's all linked to an angel that the Lord gave us. That angel looked after us for thousands of years. You can read when he says, I will take him away, the Eklund Orator, the captain of 50, the cunning artificer, King Arthur. That's him up there. So basically, I got a dog's life. I'm looking for a grant to study this. That's why I need probably a couple of students who can help me, but I get a very cold shoulder because of the way people act when they think that you're homeless and all of that. I haven't got the ABCs. When I first went to see the shaman and he says to me, he says, the white man, I went to live with the Native Americans, he said that when I was looking for the answers, I was on the quest for the Holy Grail. I went to the south of France and all of that. I went on the quest for the Holy Grail. And the Lord said to me in the board, he said, seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be open. So I seek. I went to France and 30 something other different countries. I went all over the place. I spent nearly $1 million of me hard-earned money travelling and researching all of this stuff, and I gave it away for free. So now my £1 million is gone and I'm homeless again. So I have to start fresh. So I'm looking for a research grant, and I'm looking for some people to help me research from Trinity College. Because I need access to them books and people that know about them. I need to discuss things because I want to find out. So basically, you can match King Callahan up twice in the saga of King Callahan to other texts in Samaria. So the Lord sent Callahan as the Swan King. You can see him. He calls him the Assyrian. Him will I send against any hypocrite nation. So the Lord is going to send him a second time. He says, I will send the prophet Elijah. Elijah is who the angel, my name is in him, Jah. So Elijah and Elijah, which is which? It's a bit difficult to discern. There's so much stuff going around in one man's head, and I'm not good on the computers and all that. So I'm having difficulty. But there's loads of stuff encoded in the Book of Kells, and I can't get near it. Even though the Lord showed me the Holy Grail, Sangreal, vapor, idolatry. You have to read what Callahan was up to until he was taken away. The Lord says, I will take him away. So the angel is after getting taken away now. So we're on our own, and they have us. And we're dying as infants at 100 years. And you're supposed to expose them. So how we ended up exposing these people is I ended up being a rapper and into the music scene over in London. I was asked to make records and stuff like that. And I started to get involved in the rave scene and doing psychedelics and stuff like that. Weird shit that happened to me, obviously. It was going on for years. But I ended up having a very bad spiritual thing happen to me. So I went to live in Arizona. Then when I came back, I went to live in France, south of France, Montségur, Rennes-le-Château, Carcassonne, Mary-Pox, all of them things. And I was suffering serious psychological problems after all of the years of abuse that I was after suffering at the hands of enemies, police and partners. So now I'm standing here, and I have behind me, look at the Anglo-Saxons, yeah? The Anglo-Saxons, there they are there. They're Anglo-Saxons. We used to look like them. That's what we used to look like, look. So we used to look like them, taller and all, but they don't have the cathedrals that the Catholics have until after the Weimar Republic was destroyed and they put the Berlin Wall in. Berlin became Catholic. Now the Germans are getting smaller and they're not as healthy as they used to be because there's cathedrals being built everywhere. Cathedrals are prison bars. That's why the angels spent this time burning them down. And that's why what they're probably calling Lucifer, the angel they're probably calling Lucifer, the light bringer, is actually named in the Bible as the light to the Gentiles. And the Lord says, I have given you as a light